Fuel prices could rise again. Here's how the Middle East crisis could affect every South African. Middle East tensions could push fuel prices and interest rates higher in South Africa. Why am I saying that? You may be wondering. Well, guess what? I do have the answers. As I always do my research very well, let me go into the story. Reason being, renewed tensions in the Middle East have driven oil prices higher, okay? Raising concerns that South Africa could face higher fuel prices, a weaker rand, and rising inflation. Since South Africa imports most of its oil, any disruption to global supply, especially through the Strait of Hormuz, could increase the cost of fuel, transport, food, and other everyday goods. Investment experts also warn that rising inflation may lead the South African Reserve Bank to increase interest rates, making loans and bond repayments more expensive. While fuel prices are only adjusted monthly, motorists could start feeling the impact in August and September, but only if global oil prices remain elevated. So, what does that mean? It means if you are working currently, you should start to prepare for the inevitable that is coming. Simply because, as you have heard lately, I'm pretty sure that you have heard lately that in the Middle East currently there's war that is going on. USA is involved. Iran, if I do remember, it's Iran is involved with Israel, okay? And then we have that other country that's that country is called the Ukraine, okay? The Ukraine, we all know what is happening in the Middle East. We all know what is happening in Europe, okay? Russia is constantly fighting with Ukraine, okay? And then at some point we have these other countries in the Middle East who are fighting currently, and the battle has gone out of hand because now it seems like nothing is working. No negotiations seems to work. Nothing seems to work. But this further escalates the war instead of ending it. While in between that, pardon me, it's all at the human cost. Because for as long as the war continues, more lives will be lost, and the hunger will eventually kick in, and starvation, okay, and other diseases in relation to starvation. There are many ways of solving issues, but then it seems like there's zero ways that are being applied to solve or resolve these particular issues. We will never know what is happening exactly, but we are constantly trying to figure out what is going on. As we all know that these issues have begun long ago. Maybe it has been like 3 or 4 years right now, from 2022, maybe 2021, if I do remember correctly. And it has been dragging for quite a lot, and up until today. So that's why I'm saying the war is escalating, or it seems like it's gonna escalate at any point, because from my point of view, it seems like the war has already escalated, because there are many threats in between political agendas, the media, and everyone is involved. But even though all that is happening, because like, let me take it further back, okay? Let me take you to the year 2024 and 2020. Maybe it's 2023 and 2024 when the world ran out of wheat simply because of the war that that was taking place in Europe and the Middle East. Okay, I'm talking about the war, the Russian and the Ukrainian war that had been taking place for more than 2 years now, more than 3 years. Okay, so that's eventually came into a point whereby the world seems to be running out of wheat. Therefore, due to the lack of wheat in the world, that fueled the prices to surge into a much higher level. The levels that we have never been, or the levels that we have never experienced before. So that clearly drove up the inflation of any other country in the world. But most importantly, we, as the third world, we were in a very serious situation, because even though these wars they may seem like they won't affect us in any way, but let me tell you something, these wars, they do affect us. They do affect us a lot, because every war that is happening in the world will automatically influence the rise of inflation. So what happens when your currency or your country's currency weakens? That's where the inflation kicks in. Okay? So we have to brace for impact, because it seems like no one is safe. But of course, except for the rich, but for us, no one is safe. So you better be prepared, because it is, and it is indeed inevitable that it will happen. The prices will soar up, the food will soar up, everything will surge to much higher levels than before. And I am deeply saddened by the fact that most people, they are, especially those people who are new to the middle class world. Those people who are new to the those people who are new to the middle class world, most of them, they will be sucked out from becoming homeowners for the first time, because whenever the cost of living rises, it will automatically push one thing: the interest will rise. Therefore, it will curb the consumer spending while driving up the bond prices, which goes hand in hand with the interest. So one affects the other, whether positively or negatively. So that will automatically change everything. A new homeowner may struggle to pay in full, or maybe pay off in a few years, the house that you have just bought. Or maybe you have just bought a new car for the first time. But as soon as the interest kicks, everything else will automatically go up. But so sad that the salary will never go up. But it will go up, but not now. And when it does, just like the gas prices, maybe it's gonna go maybe you're gonna get a raise, a small raise, maybe by 10 rand, maybe by 100 rand. Okay, so it never does any difference for any of us. So what am I saying? I'm saying we can't keep up. The middle class can't keep up. And it's very sad that there's nothing really we can do. There's nothing we can do. It's just politics. So we have to brace for impact because it seems like it is indeed inevitable. So whatever that you're doing or whatever that you were about to do, please make sure that you stay prepared and you are constantly watching the news. If you can save as much as you can. And also if you can invest, you can invest so that you can have a better future. Because it seems like we are constantly being pushed away from freedom. What freedom am I talking about? I'm talking about the freedom of being rich one day or being wealthy one day or even being just a middle class one day. Simple things like owning a house and a car and a family. Most of us, and it's even worse for the Gen Zs, they might not have that kind of opportunity in as much as we, the late 90s, are struggling to own even a scrap car or even a simple one-room house. It's even worse when it's talking about the rent prices. So as I'm speaking to you right now, it's a matter of time before things get to rise again. Like I've been looking at the prices of the real estate in Cape Town, okay? The prices of the simple rental houses, okay? The real estate as well as the flats. A single one room may cost 2 or 3 times than what we are used to in Durban, in Cape Town. So in Durban, we are used at prices that are more comforting, okay, they are more generous, okay, to us because we are so used to the low price. Not exactly that they are low, but they are affordable, okay, they are manageable, okay, because you can get a flat in Durban or even in Pinetown for as little as 1.5, maybe 1.6, maybe the like one of the good flats, okay, like the good flats. You may get one of those maybe for 2.5 up to 3,000, okay. But in Cape Town, that amount buys you just a one room. That's a rent for that one room, maybe 2 room at max, not more than that. So it seems like in Durban we are like the prices they are more generous compared to in any other place because like I've been in Johannesburg, okay? I've been in Johannesburg and I've seen that the prices in Johannesburg, it's very hard to find and rent a very comfortable place. It's very hard to find a nice, decent, comfortable place with that amount, 2.5, maybe 1.5. 1.5, I like, there's no room in Johannesburg for 1.5. Maybe from 2.5, you can get a room, just one room, that's one room. While in Durban, you can get a much better, like in Durban for 2.5, you may get like a better standard of living. But in Johannesburg, you can't get, like, you can't get a 3 room with that kind of amount. There's no such thing. Like it's No one can do it, okay? Not unless you are earning big money. But if you don't earn any big money, then like you are forced to live in a shack. That's why most black people in Johannesburg, they are living in shacks. Same thing applies as in Cape Town. Most people in Cape Town, they are living in shacks simply because they can't afford. The standard of living is very high. So that's why I'm saying the prices are more generous in KZN, in Devon. So yeah, those were the updates for today. Okay, those were the updates for today, and please do save. Please do save, because it's gonna get rocky ahead. It's gonna get pretty rough ahead, and it's gonna be hard. And it's gonna be hard because like inflation is no joke. So yeah, stay tuned for the next upcoming episode. If you did enjoy today's episode, thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe, because your subscriptions, they are motivating us and making our work easier so that we can provide a much better content and give you more updates in time, well researched updates in time. Thank you. I'm your host, TW Zulu. Bye bye. See you on the next episode.